is September. Your luck magazine.
Crew described as like the Poseidon adventure. We have exclusive pictures from the ship which hit stormy sea.
And Marie Antoinette said let them eat cake, but Cheshire will have changed that to eat beans. We meet wheelchair-bound victims of a new budget diet.
UEFA Cup, and with their goalkeeper scoring, Manchester United are out, but Liverpool are still going strong. That's Granada tonight.
3 months after he was taken captive in Kashmir, the first firm report that hostage Paul Wells is alive.
Good evening. Yes, Indian paramedics confirmed today that they have treated the student from Blackburn who's being held by Kashmiri separatist guerrillas. The paramedics were forced to march 10 miles into a remote mountain area where Paul and 3 other hostages are being held. The doctors treated them for illnesses brought on by the bitterly cold weather. The group holding Paul and the others has threatened to kill them unless their demands are met. Tony Barnes reports.
The area where the paramedics were taken is 50 miles south of where Paul Wells and his fellow hostages were captured, and at a lower altitude following the onset of winter in the high mountains. The ordeal who have taken its toll on them. They report suffering from ailments including snowblind, thought to have been suffering the long marches between hideouts. Some days ago, local paramedics were contacted, and they were taken 10 miles on foot to a hut where they saw the 4 men.
Our concern has been to see that the hostages are released unharmed.
Indian diplomats in Srinagar said they're taking reports seriously, but are pursuing diplomatic channels to free them instead of using force.
They are at their mercy. They are at their mercy. What they have done to one of the hostage, they can do it. But our effort to pursue contact which we have, and our assessment is that they will come back.
The contact with the hostages comes as other Kashmiri separatist groups have been surrendering their weapons to the Indian army. But that and the medical treatment the 4 have received is not being seen as a sign that they may be released soon, rather the opposite, that the group holding them may be preparing for a long winter ahead with their captives.
Tony Barnes there. Now it's been 6 weeks since the murder of Wigan schoolgirl Louise Sellers. Still, the police are no nearer finding her killer. 15-year-old Louise was found strangled and battered on farmland 5 miles from her home. Today, Louise's mother made an appeal for information in the hope that it could give detectives a vital lead. Mark Owen has more.
This is the last photograph taken of Louise Sellers. For 6 weeks now, her mother Elaine has been living with the ultimate nightmare. Her entire family devastated. She's already appealed for information about her daughter's killer.
She was a teenager, but she was my baby. And please, if anyone knows anything, or can give any information to the police, please get in touch with them because we need to be caught.
Today, from the family's home in Athley Bridge, Elaine renewed that appeal.
Please, look into your heart, look at the suffering that you're causing my family and what this person has done to my child, who didn't deserve to die.
The murder of Louise Sellers, a popular 15-year-old girl, shocked her hometown of Athley Bridge and the surrounding area. Louise was found on farmland behind Village Hospital on August 14th, 5 miles from her home. She'd been strangled and beaten about the head. She'd left home at tea time on Sunday the 13th. She visited nearby stables and was last seen by a friend at this bus stop at Randall's Corner in Athley Bridge at around 9 o'clock.
The question that is on all our lips is, where did she disappear to after that? The possibility is that a vehicle came along, it was someone she knew, and she got in it voluntarily. It's hard to imagine that she would get into a vehicle involuntarily in that situation.
Louise was found on what's known as a local lover's lane. Police want to interview a couple seen in a 4-track vehicle the night she was killed.
Mark Owen reporting. A former army major who had to leave her job when she became pregnant has been awarded £150,000 in compensation at an industrial tribunal in Manchester. It's thought to be the biggest amount ever agreed by the Ministry of Defence. The tribunal heard that Major Catherine Birtwhistle's high-flying army career had been unfairly cut short. Andy Gill was at the hearing.
Major Catherine Birtwhistle from Burton in Lonsdale near Carnforth was persuaded to resign from the army after her first child. She was one of the first women officers to attend the Army Staff College and the first to go on a special weapons course. She claimed £750,000 for loss of her career and earnings, but her lawyers and the MOD agreed on £150,000.
This case was never about money. No financial award could ever fully compensate for the loss of a career which I dearly loved. In its written decision, the Industrial Tribunal described me as a pioneer. I'm deeply gratified by that description.
Navy nurse with £3,000 in a civil case, but the MOD is appealing against that.
We believe this is the highest ever settlement that's been agreed by the Ministry of Defence. We don't think it's the highest level of compensation that's ever been awarded, but the significance of it is, we believe, that it's the highest level that's been agreed without the matter going to an appeal.
The tribunal chairman said the settlement was less than expected because Major Birtwhistle went to live abroad with her husband, also in the army, 9 years ago. She'd then effectively given up her claim to resume her career and couldn't have compensation for the years after that. In a statement, the MOD said, "We're pleased that the clarification given by the chairman has resulted in a very significant reduction in their claim for £750,000. The MOD went on to say this is an exceptional case in that over 95% of all pregnancy dismissal cases have now been settled for between £10,000 and £11,000. Although the compensation was nowhere near the £750,000 expected by some, this was still an exceptional case. But legal experts say it's unlikely to set any precedents. The principle that it's wrong to sack someone for being pregnant is well established, and future cases of compensation will be decided on an individual case-by-case basis.
Andy Gill, now, a humble can of baked beans. Not everybody's taste, but that was the choice to a severely disabled woman in Chester when social services needed to cut back on costs. They told her she was better cooking beans or jacket spuds than a cooked meal provided by them. And not having to peel vegetables for her would save time and public money. But today the council swallowed its words and apologised. Trevor Green has the whole story.
Neither Jeanette or Brian Earl, who both suffer cerebral palsy, are capable of vegetables or cooking proper meals. Each day, a care worker from Cheshire Social Services cleans their home in Hoole in Chester and cooks their evening meal. Then came a letter telling Mrs. Earl she'd be better having the occasional snack of baked beans because she needed to lose weight on medical grounds.
And after I realised what they were saying, I said, I just got my heart out. I just couldn't believe it. And my husband couldn't believe it either. That means that I have to do it all myself. He just couldn't believe it.
Cheshire County Council has admitted being insensitive. Labour's social services spokeswoman said the case highlighted a major cash crisis in social services in Britain.
Social care hours, community care is facing a crisis. It's recognised nationally and it's recognised locally by those in social services. And the only people who don't recognise it are the government.
In a lengthy statement, Cheshire County Council suggested the family should eat only tinned or frozen food and said the family